Hey there, it's Latrina. I am in my kitchen because I have decided to do something really fun on a very consistent basis with you guys. As you know, many of you know, and I've shared in the past that I follow a plant-based diet, and also meaning I'm vegan, because you can follow a plant-based diet and not necessarily be totally vegan, but I am. And I was vegan for probably almost a decade before I decided that as I started getting older, started hitting menopause age, and my body was changing and I couldn't figure it out, and I was trying to gain more strength and muscle, and so I was just playing around a little bit more with adding fish and eggs into my diet. Did that for a season, but for the past few months, probably since about February, I've been back on a plant-based diet, and I pretty much plan to stay there. And one of the things that I wanted to be able to do was to share with people ways that you can transition to a plant-based diet by eating nutritious, nutrient-dense foods, so that you don't have to feel hungry, that you don't have to feel like you're missing out on anything, and most importantly, that you don't have to consume a bunch of processed foods. Because one of the biggest things that and issues that people encounter when they are trying to transition to a plant-based or vegan diet, they don't really know what to do. And so they end up buying a lot of products that say vegan products, or fake meats and Beyond Meat burgers and things like that, which I used to absolutely love, but those things are really high in fat and they are still processed foods. They are good on occasion. I mean, they really are. They're delicious, but to eat that stuff over time, all the time, it really isn't really nutritious and healthy for you to do that. So my primary goal is to show you how to make a conscious transition to a vegan diet or a plant-based diet, and to do that without lacking the quality foods that you need, and to show you some really great ways to take veggies and whole foods and really make them nutritious, satiating, satisfying meals. Because my main thing is that showing you how to do that, and most importantly, my core belief is that food is medicine. As Hippocrates said, that let thy food be thy medicine be thy food. I'm a firm believer in that. And so I know, and science has proved, that plant-based foods really do revert illnesses, cure sickness, prevent sicknesses and illnesses. It treats diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cancer, like all types of things that you can do to fight these diseases, or really get yourself in a much better state, depending on how far along you are in the process. But I want to be able to show you things because it's a great thing for you, and we're in a place and time in our society where healthcare may not be available to people, but healthcare is not healing. Healthcare is actually just managing symptoms a lot of times. We need healthcare. I'm not against medicine at all, but I'm just saying that healthcare is not designed to heal. It's designed to help you manage systems for the most part. Symptoms, for the most part. So I just want to be able to share some tips and tricks and things like that. And so today I want to show you a meal that I think is really delicious, easy to make, has some really great anti-inflammatory, very high nutritious foods to make you a really delicious whole foods plant-based meal. And it's going to consume, it's going to be quinoa, spinach, mushrooms, which I love, onions, turmeric, sweet potatoes, and avocado, and a couple of other seasonings. But I'm going to get to it and show you how to make that and show you what it looks like on the other side. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get my quinoa started. So you can get quinoa from Kroger, Publix, any of the stores carry it. It's not very expensive at all anymore. So I'm going to put a cup of quinoa into the Instant Pot. This is the quickest and easiest way for me to cook it. So I'm also going to put some water in here, which for every cup, I put like 2 cups of water in there. And to be honest, a really great way to do this is with broth, vegetable broth, to make it more flavorful. But I don't have any vegetable broth right now, so I'm just going to use water. Put that in here. Instant Pot going. Put it on rice. And that will be ready, perfectly cooked in about 12 or 13 minutes or so. So I'll go ahead and get some onions sliced up. I don't cut my finger off. So we'll be using these a little bit to saute in just a second. Need to improve my knife skills, but it's okay. Get that out of the way. Put my onions, because I like my onions a little chunky. Cut up a few mushrooms. I happen to love portobello. They're my favorite. They're good for making burgers. So we'll chop these up a little bit. Get those out of the way. Ah, I gotta cut my nail there. So I'm gonna peel my sweet potato here, because we're gonna actually dice this up really well to go into the pot, or I should say the pan, and saute until they're kind of cooked there. I love this thing. I used to do this with the knife. And ever since I bought this little gadget, it makes peeling potatoes so much easier. And then I'm just gonna chop this up in little pieces. I honestly need a way sharper knife. I'm gonna really invest in, so I'm trying to cook more. Definitely need to invest in some better knives. We'll get there. Okay, so you can see that I have all the sweet potatoes diced all up here, and we're just gonna move this over to the pan and saute these vegetables. We'll saute this first, and then we'll add the veggies later. I'll get these to saute. Sweet potatoes, y'all, are just so nutritious. They are just nutrient dense and so good for so many things. They are a great source of complex carbohydrates, which are the good carbs, which have a lower glycemic index for people who are concerned about their blood sugar and diabetes. It's good fiber. It has a lot of vitamins and minerals, including like vitamin A, vitamin C, potassium, magnesium, which is all good stuff. Magnesium helps you sleep better. It's improved vision, immune function, blood pressure regulation, gut health, all the good stuff. That's all coming from sweet potatoes. So this is really, really, really nutrient dense. Put these onions and mushrooms in here. I'll let the onions go in here first and let those cook down a little bit. The mushrooms got caught in there, but I didn't want to put those in just that quickly. Move that out of the way. Okay. So I'm just going to saute my onions down a little bit. I probably could have added a bit more onions there. I don't think I used a full onion, but that's okay. It's not an exact science like baking, so you just kind of can do what works for you. But I like onions. So we'll get that a little caramelized and cook down a little bit. Throw in some of these seasonings that we have. I have a little salt. I'm going to sprinkle some of it on here now. Oops. A little bit of the turmeric. Talk about an anti-inflammatory. Turmeric is amazing. And anytime there's disease in your body, inflammation is also present. This is cooking pretty high, even though it's like on medium-low. A little lower. So I'll sprinkle a little turmeric in there. Some onion salt. Get a little more flavor in there. I'm going to add some spinach. And as you know, spinach wilts really fast. So I'm going to put more in here because I love spinach. And it's going to cook down to be much less than you see right now. So I'm putting in a lot more spinach because I like it. And it's not going to be this much when it's cooked down. And this is another time to go ahead and, even though this recipe does better with fresh garlic, I thought I had another clove. I don't. So I'm just going to put some minced garlic in there. I'm just going to spread that out a little bit, but it's okay. Garlic has a lot of healing properties in there as well. But fresh garlic is always better. Anytime you can go fresh, fresh is best. That's always the preference there. Add a little more turmeric in there. Since I put a little before, I'll put a little bit more in there now. This is a great anti-inflammatory meal, in case you're wondering. And just FYI, if you do work with fresh garlic and you're adding it, Fresh garlic has so many healing properties and nutrients in it that the best thing to do is to add it towards the end. You don't want it to cook as long with the rest of the stuff. The more fresh it is, the more beneficial it is. So if you're adding fresh garlic, just add it to the very end of the process of cooking. So you see our spinach has wilted down quite a bit. And I'm just going to add in our sweet potatoes back to the mix. Look how pretty that is. Look at all the colors. That's one of the things that, you know, people in the health industry will tell you when it comes to nutrition. Eat your colors. Make sure you have your colors represented on your plate, and you will know that you have a really nutrient-dense meal. You got the sweet potatoes that are orange and the green veggies. And I'm going to finish it up with adding the quinoa and a little avocado. So we're almost there. Okay, so after a little extra time, the quinoa is ready and it's a little fluffier. I will say that I'm pretty sure I overcooked it a little too much, but you can see how it looks there. It's light and it's a little more fluffy. So here's the finished product. It's got the spinach, you can see the sweet potatoes, the quinoa, the avocado that I added on top, the portobello mushrooms and the onions. And it's really shiny and pretty and yummy. But I did want to say the last thing about quinoa though is that quinoa is a complete protein, and it has all the essential amino acids for a protein, and it's a good antioxidant. It has a lot of good vitamins and stuff in there, and minerals like magnesium and folate. So this is a really nutritious, anti-inflammatory, healthy, satiating meal. Okay, and of course, let's give it a little taste test. So I'm gonna grab a little quinoa, my spinach on there, my sweet potato. It's really good. It's really good. Add a little avocado there. Yep, it's really good. And the only thing I'll say though, that what it's missing is like a different type of texture, because the sweet potatoes are soft and the spinach is soft and the quinoa and all that. So it's just missing a little texture. But to be honest, you know, and keeping in the theme of it being anti-inflammatory and having all the nutritional value, I could add some walnuts on top of there, crush up some walnuts, and it'll give it a little more texture. But it is really delicious, and I will put up all the ingredients for you as a reminder. And it's just a quick, healthy meal. And because you got your healthy fats, the avocado, and the olive oil in there, it's really gonna help you to stay full longer and not have to snack as often. So I hope you enjoyed this little plant-based meal, and I will continue to share what I've learned, and let me know if there's anything you want me to demonstrate for you. As I'm learning, I'm sharing. But bon appetit.